Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the next match of the day. This is going to be... well, there's no longer Grand Finals. I gotta stop saying that because this is round robin, technically.
Yeah.
This is going to be Nizzle Shizzles versus the Burly Men. Burly Men we've seen many times today. Nizzle Shizzles is going to be a new one on the stream. Let's introduce the players for those of you that do not know. We have Mexiety on the Thor jungle. We have Atopmic on the mid lane, Zeus Fearno on the Hoi, a very popular pick today. Teaming up with Rachetier on the support Khepri Hugbug. And then finally we have DanteLeFargo on the solo lane Athena. That's an odd one. I would have expected something a little more different, but I guess solo lane Athena, we'll see how it works.
Yes, indeed. We will see exactly how that's going to go. You can see we've actually got the Mark of the Vanguard to start off with. We've been seeing this quite popularly on Jing over in the solo lane, so this is going to be an interesting one to see exactly how it works, especially against a tier over in the solo. And we've seen WordsQQ actually play tier over in the solo beforehand, and it worked pretty well for the side of the Burly Men. So we're going to have to see. As you can see, I've got the bands on the top of the screens. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go into the picks and bans. So you can see Nizzle Shizzles banned out Hell, Shabalonke, and Geb, while Burly Men banned out Sobek, Sun Wukong, and Circuit.
Yeah, a quick addendum to the point that you made about the tier. One thing I'd like to mention is he ran the exact same build, the Bluestone tier, today. We saw that, and the Bluestone does work. So, what's the best thing you can really do to counter Bluestone right now, apart from not getting hit, obviously, but that's kind of hard to do, is Mark of the Vanguard, because it reduces damage essentially down from about 25 to 29 to about 6, all things considered, which is a huge thing.
It's, Bluestone does 30 damage over 2 seconds, so that's actually reduced down to, because it's over 2 seconds, they actually do 15 per damage, so this reduces it down to 10 per damage, plus with the extra physical protection and magical protection, it reduces it down even further, so effectively you're only doing about, like you said, 6 per tick or something. It gets very low and makes it so much easier for you. So it's a really nice counteraction. But again, as you said, the easiest way is to just not get hit by abilities.
Yeah, even with, and also the extra health and protections you get off of the item work with the passive quite nicely. Even with the extra power for an item that was recently just nerfed, the Bluestone, known as one of the most efficient items ever in Spiked history versus, say, Mankind's Scepter. That was in a PTS while ago. For those of you in chat that are currently having PTSD over Mankind's Scepter, I apologize. But yeah, essentially, Bluestone is the spiritual successor to Mankind's Scepter in terms of value, and the Mark of the Vanguard shuts it down quite nicely. Yeah,
and I mean, actually, on the duo lane, we've just seen Fearno just get that dive bomb out. It was pretty close, but the Ymir already leveled up, which, wondering how that's going to turn out. So definitely want to try and get these early sort of shutdowns with trying to get rid of that Khepri dash, and trying to, more importantly as well, zone out the Zeus, who is quite a good one to zone out. We do see Mexiety, though, sitting around, not sure whether he wants to go on, which lane he wants to go on, deciding he is eventually going to go onto the solo lane, as Khepri gets the pull in onto Junipera, Junipera taking a lot of damage here, and that is probably going to be the first blood. Fearno getting that.
Oh dear. That is the last person you want to have a first blood onto. The carry, especially a Hoi. Personally, I don't know how well Fearno plays. I haven't seen him before, so I don't know how well Fearno plays on Hoi. But just on paper, if a Hoi gets the advantage, he's going to be able to keep the pressure in lane, which then physically the space in lane is more important to him because of Ricochet, like you saw there. He was able to hit the wave twice because he had the prime positioning. But over in the solo, BootyCallJones is trying to make his namesake onto the Athena here. Is he going to get it? Maybe. Dante's hugging the tower quite heavily.
Yeah, he's actually going to recall. It's a very good idea. I've been having a quick look back and forth at this lane, and WordsQQ has been doing a very nice job of keeping DanteLeFargo in a lot of problems, because this is the biggest thing about going to Mark of the Vanguard. You don't actually get any sustain in the lane, so you don't have... You have that extra bit of health, but you don't have any mana. You've got to hope that you get that from something like the... well, you've got to get that from the blue buff, and you don't have much health, although it does give 150, it's not that much, whereas something like Vampiric Shroud actually is very good in terms of sustain, although you won't usually see that on most Guardians.
Traditionally. And now, oh, hang on, looks like left side mid-camps were taken up by Burly Men. But over in the solo here, there's actually a rather interesting matchup. I would have thought going into this that Dante would have stood, there we go, that's the correct past tense word, use a thesaurus, Oliver, that he would have stood little chance of the wave clear fight versus a tier with Bluestone, but Dante, once he managed to get a couple levels into the shield wall, is doing very well for himself. Not only in that, but his words has to go back at the most inopportune times, not by his own fault, but simply because he just runs out of resources. That just happened at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be careful about how you play most matchups, and although a lot of people say you either win a matchup or lose a matchup, it is very dependent. So, it's entirely up to sort of whether people want to sort of move it around or not. And if you are good at the solo lane, is a lot more skill-based than a lot of people sort of remember. Everyone goes purely based on matchups. Like, I mean, everyone was always saying, as soon as Sun Wukong came into the meta, Sun Wukong is OP, you can't win against him, just don't fight him. Now we're seeing a lot more people actually play other gods because they've realized, yes, Sun Wukong is pretty strong, but other gods are also ridiculous as well in the solo lane, and as long as you can play around the Sun Wukong, you can very much counter him and play very well against it. You don't have to just play these OP gods. As long as you know what you're doing, you can play a lot more.
I would imagine a small element of that also
actually, in
comes
the
down
mid lane
to
though, Atopmic very low. Khepri ultimate going to be used saving him, but what about his Thor? Mexiety is going to be finished off by a very nice teleport from BootyCallJones.
Unfortunately, to save one life, you must sacrifice another. Rachetier had to choose, and in that case, he was able to save Atopmic. Now, was that the correct decision? We'll have to find out, as over in the solo lane, DanteLeFargo gets taken out by a very nice Fearless by WordsQQ. And back to... that actually makes things a little interesting, because now WordsQQ has a choice. Does he want to push the wave up? Does he want to grab his own blue buff? Does he want to steal the opponent's blue buff, or go for mids? He's got a couple of choices here. Instead, he's actually gonna go back to buy. He has enough money to pick up the Warrior Tabby and a Talisman for magical protection. He's gonna go with the safer option. And going back to the mids here, we're gonna be seeing Burly Men stacking up to take at least one of them. Although they're looking for a gank, maybe. Yeah,
they'll most likely take one of them as just clearing out the wave first to make sure they get as much XP as possible. And now they're gonna go for the mid camps. They may actually be able to take out two of them if they want, although Khepri has decided to rotate over and make sure that this is going to at least be an even fight if they want to. I think Burly Men has spotted this, so they know not to. Although Rachetier did just use the hug bug, he could do a lot of aggression. Athena ultimate actually used. Ymir is going to be caught out a little bit here. Of course, use the ultimate, but it's a little too early. Fearno is going to get that kill, and now with the Zeus ultimate used as well, Nizzle Shizzles have a fair amount of aggression if they want to go onto this. Thor ultimate even used on top of that. The only ultimate left alive is Rachetier's. So, I mean, they can at least get some safe sort of defense. But WordsQQ taking out the first tier 1 tower of the game as it falls down to him. But he's going to get caught out with the rotations from Mexiety. Nice Fearless, just make sure that he does some damage to DanteLeFargo, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive?
I doubt he's going to get picked up here unless he made a very silly positioning mistake. He's got enough mana to where he can power cleave again and again to heal up. And there's no tower there that he could be tortured into, so he's going to be able to stay here and just do his thing. And he may be able to even start pushing a little harder. I doubt he's going to get onto Dante unless some intervention came. Speaking of which, BootyCallJones wandering his way around the map. He's going to look to stick a ward over at the speed buff. He just wants to keep an eye on it, doesn't want to take it just yet, because he knows that a few members of Nizzle Shizzles are going to be at least on that right side of the map. And we see, you know, Mexiety and Atopmic have just turned up. He's going to stay there and distract, while the rest of his team goes to the Gulf Fury.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Go for the gold tree. Keep someone busy. They don't really know, but Mexiety has finally spotted it out, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult because Athena ultimate can be channeled onto this. Medusa as well going to use his own ultimate. Very nice job. Actually going to save him the gold tree. Atopmic finishing being finished off by BootyCallJones in the backside though. Fearno trying to chase away BootyCallJones. Not going to be able to do it. Thor ultimate actually not going to hit either. BootyCallJones is going to live through this. And I think, more importantly, the Nizzle Shizzles can't find any kills anywhere else.
Yeah, Nizzle Shizzles won't be able to try and accelerate anything. Burly Men are going to be able to keep this winning stalemate they've had around the map. They're winning in gold, they're winning in XP, 3.6k XP, 2.7k gold to be specific. There hasn't been any craziness, there's been a tower taken. That's it. There's been gold theories taken, but no massive fights around it. It's a very low-kill game, which is, stark to what we've seen today of ridiculous kill games with high-action stuff. Although it looks like over at the left side here, oh no, someone didn't study trigonometry because that angle didn't work out. Fearno literally field gold his Ricochet 3 times around Lou. It did a loop-de-loop, but it didn't hit. That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've got to say, though, I don't think Ricochet's trigonometry, it is mostly roll of the dice, because there is a lot of very interesting interactions with Ricochet, but more importantly, the way it bounces off walls, it can change direction very quickly without really expecting it, so it could have actually looked like it was going to hit Lou. So he then bounces it, fires it, and then suddenly it just goes all around him, and he feels very annoyed, although he did at least make a very nice triangle around him.
Now, let's have a look at what can they do. So Burly Men, they have a little bit of choice here. Looks like, actually no, over the solo and the Gold Fury pit, there's 2 fights happening at the same time. Gold Fury pit, Mexiety is going to get hit with multiple abilities, including a dot over time, which is going to allow BootyCallJones to pick up the kill before he's able to ascend to the heavens and actually get out of there with his ultimate. That's going to be another kill for Burly Men. That's only going to make the 6th kill of this game. And now, Burly Men are going to try and do some sieging here. Because look, WordsQQ is still pushing that right side. He has ward coverage. And at the same time, Burly Men have strong presence in the other lanes. And Nizzle Shizzles aren't getting an objective anytime soon.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be no objectives that they can really contest right now. Of course, Fire Giant is up, but, I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult if they go for it. Because you only see these early... Well, when I say early, pre-20-minute Fire Giants, if you have sort of Isis Ultimate and ways to heal up and give yourself protection reductions, like, I mean, a Khepri Isis is probably one of the best ways to try and go for a Fire Giant early on, but they do not have that. Instead, they have a lot of wave clear and damage potential early on, so that's what they're going to look for. They're going to try and keep up and make sure that they can get some very good team fights with a lot of items, as many as they can get. So we've talked a bit about Zhong sort of in most of these games. We haven't really delved into exactly what he does and what makes him so good, other than just the fact that he gets lots of protections. But the fact that he's got loads of AoE as well, and more importantly, he's got that damage over time, which secures kills a lot more than people remember. Well, certainly I remember. It's been doing a lot of work recently. But sort of, he's got so much stuff in his kit.
Yeah, even like every single part of his kit has an AoE. Even his auto attacks have AoE. He gains that little flying book, that scroll. That's the Book of Evil. Not only does it list down the naughty people who are getting coal for Christmas. That's my headcanon. We're going to be. You will see it just shoot out a projectile if you have a little gander at his skill kit. Actually, no. In the mid lane here, Mexiety pops the ultimate in retaliation for having to get away from the Fearno evil. He may see WordsQQ.
Yeah,
he's actually going to go back. Yeah, he saw him. That's got to play safe. I would have been highly surprised if he didn't do the full 360 and didn't see him there.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd done it very quickly, he wouldn't have actually seen WordsQQ sitting there. But because you only really see models when you're at that sort of that high up, but you can see him. you would have noticed that he was been there. Actually, very nice taunt from the Athena onto BootyCallJones. BootyCallJones taking a lot of damage from that, but full penetration, no, Fearno even, is the one that has got to be careful. Rachetier on about half health, not going to quite get the hug bug onto WordsQQ. Junipera falling down in the backline to DanteLeFargo, but WordsQQ now caught out. Nice. The card is going to be able to do a lot of slowing and going to be finished off Rachetier. Now though, Repap doesn't have his ultimate, he doesn't have any protections, he's going to be very weak and very squishy. Is he going to be falling down though? No, Mexiety is going to take too much damage that he's not really going to be focused on. DanteLeFargo going to get hit by the acid spray, not going to be splitting up onto anyone, however.
Dante is still looking for BootyCall. BootyCall just kind of hopping around doing happy Bats things. Ah, he waited for the taunt. Yeah. I could smell the BM from here. BootyCall seeming rather sure of himself. You know, 3-0 with good engagements like that. It's hard not to be assured of yourself, although he wants to be a little wary that he doesn't get caught out because he has good initiation. He's not the only initiation. Oh no, they've got pretty much every single person on their team has some way of initiating decently, but he's got one of the better initiations outside of Ymir, so he wants to be wary he doesn't get caught out and killed for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, you've got to be quite careful about this. I mean, as you said, everyone on the side of Burly Men has some very good initiation. Every single one of them has some great sort of CC to start off their fight, whereas on the side of the Nizzle Shizzles, you have sort of Zeus, who has mostly damage. He only has that sort of slow, which you don't usually see too much later on. It's more sort of, I want to try and burst the hell out of someone, rather than I'm going to use the slow to then burst. You don't usually see him catching up, he just sort of kills people outright anyway. We do have like Thor with the stuns. He has a lot of ability of moving around. Fearno, it's a very short stun, but he does have one on the side of the Hui. But we're actually going to see Nizzle Shizzles bursting down this Gold Fury. Not quite going to be able to take it though. Burly Men steal the Gold Fury away. Lots of ultimates used on top of it though. Repap looking for Fearno on the backside. He does have his dive on though. More importantly, he has the Khepri ultimate now. Repap taking way too much damage as the ultimate's finished. Junipera going to fall down, followed by Repap very quickly. And now Burly Men still contesting. Rachetier going to be taken down, followed by the Tier leaping onto the backline.
Atopmic is going to get wiped up by Words for the double kill. BootyCallJones gets the another kill into Fearno. That wasn't revenge, that was even more death on the side of Nizzle Shizzle. DanteLeFargo is one of the only members up of that fight for Nizzle Shizzles. Burly Men, they lost 2 people, but they killed 3 people. Did Mexiety die in that fight as well?
No, I don't think he did.
That was 3, yeah, it was 3 for 2, and they're going to be able to secure some key objectives. They got left side mid, they secured the Gold Fury, and now they're going to have a good stint on left tower. They probably going to be able to get it. I doubt that Nizzle Shizzle is going to be able to stop them in this regard, so that's going to push the golden XP difference way in their favour here, Wiz.
Yeah, we're going to see Lou actually being taunted in by DanteLeFargo. Trying to escape though, nice wall is going to come in. Lou is very low, but the hammer's already been used. Junipera not going to be able to save him though, neither is WordsQQ. Actually going to be using the Ymir wall, I think, to try and stop Rachetier from chasing up, but everyone on the side of Nizzle Shizzles has now come back, and they're looking for blood. Question is, whose blood are they looking for?
I imagine the Fire Giant's probably on their mind right now. This game has stalemated heavily in terms of Nizzle Shizzle trying to get any kind of groan. Now, hear me out. I heard the groan. Here's my reasoning. There's been a heavy stalemate in terms of Nizzle Shizzle pushing. They're having a hard time winning the team fights, so what can they do? Try and not necessarily kill Burly. If they kill them, great. Force them back and just try and rush down the Fire Giant. You even see they have the ward on there. Yes, that's going to help the Thor with ganks and whatnot, and Burly Men may be thinking about Fire Giant at the same time. Hell, they're even grouping around it right now. They may even go for an initiation onto Mexiety here, but he's going to be able to blink out. But if they can potentially get the Fire Giant, that's going to give them structure damage buff they need to just blitz their way through Burly Men's structure line.
Yeah. The problem with that, though, is the fact that they've actually got to have some way of getting into the Fire Giant, and there's two ways they can do that. Either do it without Burly Men even noticing, which right now they're not going to, as WordsQQ is taking quite a bit of damage, is going to get the cleave and heal up a little bit. Now, Rachetier's on his own, caught out. Very nice. Ymir will going to try and keep him away from his own team. Junipera going to channel the ultimate. Fearno evil as well. Rachetier is not going to have a chance to even get his ultimate off, and now Repap gonna fall down to Fearno in the backside. Junipera following very soon afterwards. WordsQQ trying to deal damage to Mexiety as much as possible. He does have his ultimate if he needs to get out. Gonna look for it. Very nice Medusa ultimate. Gonna destroy everyone in this fight. And now DanteLeFargo and Fearno are the only two left alive on the side of the Nizzle Shizzles. Again, a 2 for 3 in favor of the Burly Men. And now Medusa's going to dive in again, looking for DanteLeFargo or Fearno. Either one will do. Actually, not DanteLeFargo, not quite going to be able to find the ultimate just in time. Forced to use the dash away, and I think for once this team fight is going to finally disengage, unless WordsQQ wants to go back in again on Fearno.
LOU looking for a cheeky acid spit, but wasn't able to find it. DanteLeFargo coming back in using Defender Olympus. We're going to see the knock-up from Fearno almost hit, but Lou... Oh, he isn't able to get the ricochet stun either. That's unfortunate. And now, both teams are going to have to reset and rethink. Burly Men have minions pushed up all three... Well, 2.5 lanes, let's call it. 2.5 lanes. They've got 2 towers down, or 3 towers down, but the lanes being pushed, 2 lanes are fairly pushed up.
Yeah,
and they have a decent ward control. I want to go back to this Fire Giant topic. Both of these teams are going to be fighting around the Fire Giant, I'm going to guess, within the next 5 minutes, because...
Oh, yeah.
Look at the grouping. Like, they have to do something. They can't let the stalemate for too long and lose any kind of benefit that they've earned in this fight.
Yeah, they've got to be careful, but Fearno actually on the left-hand side is going to get walled off after the blink from Junipera came in, but not really. He's just too far out. Mexiety has rotated over. He's actually recalling on a ward. If Burly Men see this, they know that they can actually start doing this Gold Fury, which is just respawned. Atomic's also been zoned out. We do see Fearno on this left-hand side just farming, though. I don't think they have any idea that this Gold Fury is actually up. Yeah,
they may have a general idea, like, of course, their game sense is going to kick in, but yeah, now they've definitely got an idea as there. You can see that Fearno is going to get ulted on by Athena. Burly Men will get the Gold Fury, and now the fight has begun. Mexiety forced to retreat out. WordsQQ is being forced on the left-hand side to retreat, but the ultimate's in the middle being deployed by the Gallon. Atomic is forced to retreat away. Down comes the Thor out, slamming onto BootyCallJones as Atomic gets cleared up by the Hand of Justice. Whoa, one-handed arm of Justice, WordsQQ on the tier. And Junipera taking a lot of damage from that rebound there by Fearno, doing a lot of damage because he got hit twice. And Junipera is going to get finished off as well. LOU is going to be the next target. That's going to be a double kill. Can he go for the triple? He's got Repap in his sights. Can Rachetier maybe go for the dash? No, he misses the dash. Dante can get the taunt. Fearno gets stunned out, though. DanteLeFargo picking up the kill for Repap. That's a triple kill denied. Fearno forced to retreat. He doesn't have any mana. They have to go back and lick their wounds. Words' Mystical Mail won't proc and stop Dante from backing. But overall, that is a decent win for Burly in terms of getting rid of the Gold Fury, but they lost more than they gained in that fight.
Yeah, you can see it on the graphs. It's actually about even in terms of gold, but in terms of XP, it's definitely going into the favor of the Nizzle Shizzles. It is still in the lead for the Burly Men. Without a doubt, it is in the lead, sitting at 6,100 gold in the lead and 5,000 XP in the lead. This is looking quite difficult for the Nizzle Shizzles, but they can fight. They've been doing some very good team fighting, and you can actually see they've taken the kill lead now. So, Nizzle Shizzles do have to be careful about when they fight, but they know that they can. They have 2 big frontliners in this Khepri and Athena if they want it to be, and more importantly, they have some very good engagement with the Thor wall, the Hui Ricochet with the Mark the Crow stun as well. So in general, they have some very good team fighting potential. They just need to actually have a fight to be in.
Yeah, a lot of the time it isn't fights that they're getting into, it's ambushes. They can't meet. It's very rare that you meet people on even ground in the first place, but usually you'll be able to get something like, both big frontline initiators will go in, do their thing, ready, set, go, drop the flag, we'll start punching each other. But a lot of the time in these fights, Burly Men have been able to just go sneaky beaky because they have the wards everywhere. BootyCallJones can jump over a wall, Junipera can blink over a wall, or just, WordsQQ can do things over walls as well. Walls seem to be a general theme in their initiation strategy. And they're able to do that to a decent bit of success, enough to where Nizzle Shizzles gets separated, and then people can get picked on. But we saw in that last fight, Nizzle Shizzles were the one doing the separating.
Yeah, we did actually, it was the Ymir wall to separate off the Zeus. But then Zeus had a very nice Aegis. He only has level 1 Aegis, but it was good enough to make sure that he could keep himself alive for a little bit longer, force the Burly Men to do more things that they did not want to be in, and stay there for too long. So Nizzle Shizzles were able to come around and turn it up, but there is going to be another fight over just around the fire giant. We're going to see the taunt beast away from Lou. Fearno going to dive away. I think Thor wants to go in and do something here, but he can't really find it. We did hear the Fearno evil ultimate off as well. Medusa ultimate used, not quite sure if it hit anyone. I think it only just slowed a few people. Rachetier very low on health as well, forced to back off. Athena ultimate actually channeling onto him. Mexiety got a nice ultimate, but couldn't really find anything. Atopmic is dead already though.
Repap picks up the kill there. Nice ricochet, almost kills Repap. He's going to get away by the skin of his nipple rings. And that's going to go 1-0 in favor of Burly Men, but everyone on Nizzle Shizzles is just like their intestines are basically hanging out at this point. Towers are going to fall. That's going to be a tower in favor of Burly Men. The Phoenix is now open, and if they wanted to, they could try and push some other lanes. The other lanes are pushed up fairly heavily. They may want to say, I'm just going to take a reference from another... Actually, no, a recent on-topic thing, League of Legends. Chinese League of Legends emphasizes the position of the minions before you do big objectives. So they want to at least get these two other lanes, the mid and the duo, pushed up a little bit before they want to do any shenanigans around the fire giant. Otherwise, if they do get wiped a little bit, they're not going to be pushed on 3 fronts, only 1 at a time.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the best thing. You've got to try and make sure that the minions are in the right place for your own team. If you're going to have someone push up, and it's why people always talk about this Phoenix on that right-hand side, because then you don't have to worry about it. You know where the Phoenix, minions are going to be. They're going to be all the way up there, and that's going to force someone to actually come over and try and defend it. Because if you don't come and defend it, then the Phoenix is, then the minions are just going to destroy your Titan's health. They do insane amounts of damage, but we are going to see around the Gold Fury, if DanteLeFargo is going to get slowed down a little bit. He's on fairly high health still. He's not really taking too much damage, but more importantly, they know that everyone's there, so the Nizzle Shizzles aren't going to be able to get into this easily. Rachetier using the blink in, though.
Yeah, Rachetier looked for it, but he wasn't able to get it. Up goes the Thor. Will he get it? No, multiples are being deployed. I can't even tell what it is. It's absolute pandemonium. Atopmic to the Junipera. We saw DanteLeFargo gets saved by the Khepri. Rachetier picks up the kill. Mexiety picks up BootyCallJones, but not before WordsQQ picks him up in revenge for his fallen comrade. And now Nizzle Shizzles are going to be looking to try and clean house. It's 3-1. Let's see if they can make it 4-1. LOU forced to retreat. WordsQQ doesn't have his dash online yet, nor ultimate. Oh, there it is! It comes out just in time to CC the taunt. Beautiful positional and ability awareness by WordsQQ. They're going to be able to get out with minimal losses. They only lost 3 people. They didn't get decided. They will lose a tower here, but the Gold Fury is still for contention. It's most likely going to get grabbed, but it could have been a lot worse than that. Yeah,
this is going to be a fairly quick Gold Fury, and I don't think WordsQQ is going to be able to get here in time. It's already on the 50% health, so I believe this is going to go down very quickly. WordsQQ, yeah, going to get zoned out as well, just to make sure that they can get it. So that's going to be the first Gold Fury going down to the side of Nizzle Shizzles, but they are going to pay with Rachetier's death. WordsQQ looking for Fearno as well, trying to get a bit of damage onto him. Nice stun, though, from Fearno. Going to keep him alive a little bit longer. I don't really think Burly Men wanted to go into that anymore. As I was saying, though, Gold Fury, first one down for the side of the Nizzle Shizzles, and more importantly, that middle tier 1 tower was their first tower taken. So they're going to start getting this essentially free gold hidden in these tier 1 towers. because that's what they need. They need to get rid of these objectives. They need to get this gold to try and decrease this lead that the Burly Men had. As you can see, it was somewhere along the lines of about 8,000 gold. But now it's dropped very quickly, down to 5,400 in the lead for the Burly Men. They are still in the lead though, so they can still win fights. They just got to be careful about how they do it now, because Nizzle Shizzles have shown that they can do it pretty easily, especially when Burly Men go in first.
Yeah, Burly Men, when they've initiated, out of most of these fights, they've been able to pick up at least one person before even the fight starts, because all of their initiation is fairly high damaging. The Ymir does good damage, Words does very good damage, BootyCall does very good damage, etc, etc, etc. Nizzle Shizzles, they do have good damage initiation, but less so than Burly Men. Rachetier on the, Khepri doesn't do that much damage with the pole. Taunt does 0 damage at all. And while the Anvil of Dawn does do a little bit of damage, that's not what you really use it for. It's meant for the big stun and the mobility. So Nizzle Shizzles, they have to go in and immediately choose which target they want to go for, which is hard when you're getting repositioned that much in fights like Burly Men are doing. Speaking of which, over in the mid lane, a little bit of argy-bargy, but nothing really too grand comes out of it, although Dante is not going to get frozen for he was able to get out just in time.
Yeah, very nice dash away, just going to make sure that he's going to be alright. WordsQQ did actually get zoned a little bit with the root. He's just sitting there, just like contemplating his life, just wondering when he's going to finally get out of that route. But now, Nizzle Shizzles have actually backed off to this middle tier 2 tower. They're very worried about the Burly Men, but more importantly, they know that if they get that extra bit of damage, they can actually do a lot against the Burly Men, because they've already done a lot without it. So if they have that tier 2 tower damage, then why not? Do actually see WordsQQ trying to do a little bit of damage to DanteLeFargo. Taunt going to come out of him though. WordsQQ taking a whole lot of damage here. He's on about half health already. However, the rest of the Burly Men are going to join in on the backside. Repap is here, looking to slow out Dante. Didn't find it though. Junipera is going to get the stun onto Fearno. Fearno actually getting blown up with the Medusa ultimate as well, is going to be able to get away with the dive bomb. DanteLeFargo back into the fight. Very nice Fearno even.
Down comes the Khepri ultimate, is going to allow Fearno to get away with a second chance. DanteLeFargo he's able to get away with the skin of his teeth, and Mexiety goes back in though onto Junipera, but gets stunned out. Mexiety will pick up the kill to Junipera, but not before Repap has a few words or exorcisms with him. Atopmic that is in the middle of the fight now, he's going to get picked up by BootyCall. That's the bad position for him to be in. Fearno, and he's going to pick up xLOUx, but not before, oh my days, it's absolute pandemonium. Dante will pick up Fart, but not before Fart was able to actually pick up Fearno. WordsQQ picked up Rachetier. It's a 3-for-3 trade. Can Dante get anything else? He has a decent amount of damage. He's got things like the Void Stone and the Ethereal, so his shield wall is punching for a decent bit. Although 2-on-1, it's going to be very hard to actually confirm that.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to actually confirm that damage, and he's getting completely beaten around by the tier itself, so he's got to be quite careful about what he does. Mexiety is here to try and help him out. Very nice. We're actually going to block off the Fearless. I think the Fearless is now down because of it, so DanteLeFargo is going to try and go in onto BootyCallJones. Very nice taunt though. The ultimate use from BootyCall though. This could be DanteLeFargo dead. It is. WordsQQ going to take that one down.
And with that, that's going to be basically a 4-for-3 trade. And now Burly Men, they look at the ward positioning as well. That is just a straight telegraph. They want this fire giant within the next 3 minutes of those wards going down.
Yeah, they really want this fire giant. But Khepri, Athena, Thor, and Hu-Yi. Out of those, they need to at least take out both the Thor and the Athena, probably the Khepri as well, if they want to try and secure this fire giant easily. If not, they're going to have to fight the fire giant and have a big team fight around them, which is going to be difficult. The Hu-Yi, maybe not so much, but you still have to try and take him out, because the Sunbreaker, like I said a long time ago in this broadcast, that does a lot of damage if you stand still in it permanently. You've got to be careful about that sort of stuff. And now we're actually seeing, like, Nizzle Shizzles trying to get rid of some of these wards around the fire giant. Going to make it more difficult for the Burly Men to go in. So already, this sort of plan the Burly Men wanted to do the fire giant isn't going to happen for a little bit longer.
Yeah, bear in mind as well, that Sunbreaker, it doesn't do a lot of damage on the first hit, but it strikes 9 times every 0.5 seconds. And all 9 of those suns are coming down. So it's going to do over 900 damage, easy, considering the scaling as well. And Nizzle Shizzles, though, are going to be looking for words. There's the rebound, doing really, really sizable, healthy damage to words, excuse me. And also to wards, I guess, as well, even though abilities can't interact with wards, but no, never mind. We're going to be seeing, in the mid lane, though, multiple CC going to come out. The Rachetier's pull didn't, but the freeze did connect from Junipera. There comes the Gorgon's Gaze, but down comes the Fearno Evil and the Thunderstrike in response. Now, here comes the Sunbreaker. The nuclear bombs are raining down. Mexiety is very low. BootyCallJones is going to be looking for him. He jumps over the wall. Ymir comes up to try and separate DanteLeFargo, but doesn't find it. Fighting in 2 areas of the map here. BootyCall will find Mexiety. xLOUx is going to find Fearno. That's going to be a 2 for 0. Down comes the Fearless. WordsQQ pushing back Rachetier into the freeze. He's going to be annihilated. That's going to be a 3 for 0. DanteLeFargo and Atopmic are now trying to retreat. There's the overhand smash. You mentioned earlier in the broadcast was that does a lot of damage, but now it's going to be hitting somewhere in the region of at least 300, maybe 400 damage considering the scaling.
Yep, and that's going to be the middle tier 2 tower falling down. They're looking for the Phoenix as well, and they can easily do this as only DanteLeFargo is left standing. And Dante, this looks a little bit daunting for him, as there are 4 people running down into the Titan. They're actually going to go straight for the throat and try and finish off the Titan and finish off the game here. Junipera going to get taunted in along with 2 other members from DanteLeFargo, though, is going to get immediately taunted by WordsQQ, taking a lot of damage, though. He is probably going to go down, but the Titan goes down first. Burly Men with the victory after a very good team fight.
Yeah, they were able to... They didn't even need the Fire Giant buff there. All they needed was that one raw read on the enemy positioning, and they were able to jump on it. That fight, there was unfortunate positioning coming out of Nizzle Shizzles. They did very well, but as soon as that big burst of AoE came in from Repap and Junipera, and also the Gorgon's Gaze, Mexiety fled off to the side. Now, admittedly, if he fled into his team, BootyCallJones would have still been able to go in and maybe kill him. He fled to the side. BootyCallJones had already burned his ultimate ability by then, so he was free off to go and assassinate him, which left 4 players left on Nizzle Shizzle's side. The Burly Men, all they had to do was clean up and then push, because they already had at least the tier 1 tower down, excuse me, which then led to the tier 2 going down, and then they went for the throat and actually managed to succeed there. Which is different from last game, because last game we saw a bit more of a safe play style. We saw the exact same situation, but except the attacking team went for the Fire Giant, but this time it actually worked in favour of Burly Men. GG, well played to both teams. Burly Men are going to be walking away with the victory in this round robin.
Yep, they are indeed. Very well done to them. Oh, I will say, though, WordsQQ did an amazing job on this tier. He's actually sitting at the highest player damage on his team. He was just in the middle of all of them at once, trying to be as annoying as possible, which is what a tier does well. And he did it absolutely perfectly. He was sort of sitting around in that last fight. He managed to get a very nice slow onto Atopmic, DanteLeFargo, and Rachetier, meaning that they just had to turn around and fight, of which they had no health left. So, the only thing to do is fight and die. Meaning that they were all able to eventually just pour into that Titan and win this game for them. 35 minutes, that's actually the longest game that we've had today. It's all been 32, 33 minutes, but it's finally gone over that mark. However, we have one more game left today before we finish off, and that is going to be Vicious and Delicious versus Inverse Esports, so do not go anywhere. We will be right back with that game. See you all in a little bit.
Toilet break!
Okay. Alright.